Hi, happy Sunday afternoon. I wanted to answer one of the hot seat coaching questions that I think is going to really benefit everybody in here, and that has a lot to do with soul sync scaling. So the question is, how do I increase my capacity to hold more clients and opportunities? Suzanne, you have so many offerings and programs. How do you manage it all, especially creating live events? It's a lot of work, but I see you hosting tons of them. Okay, so I'm going to answer this question in parts. The first question is, the first part of the question, how do I increase my capacity to hold more clients and opportunities? Let's just start with that, because that's really where you can scale and where you can sync with your soul, both simultaneously at the same time. So if you think about like training, okay? So I was going to say, in order to expand your capacity, you have to stretch energetically. So if you think about training for a marathon, you're not just going to go out and say, I'm going to run a marathon tomorrow. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to run a marathon. What is that going to take of me physically and mentally? And how am I going to show up for that? And you might get a coach, you might get some accountability people, you might get with a group that's doing it together so you're not in the energy alone. You're going to step up your strength training, you're going to step up the amount of time that you're running. And it's basically the same thing with expanding your capacity, except for there's some energetic tweaks and energetic ways to expand much, much faster. Now, I'm going to speak to an element of this that I'm really excited to share with y'all in tomorrow's Zoom bonus that's happening. So make sure that you can join. If you can't be there live, there will be availability to the replay just as long as this program is available, you'll have access. So I'm going to speak to that there. The other thing is, if you think about what is in alignment, because they're stretching your capacity in a way that blows out your nervous system, in a way where you're like, I went too far. This is out of alignment. This isn't what I wanted. That can happen. Sometimes you can say, I want more clients. You get all the clients, and then it's like, whoa, this is not exactly what I expected. So that's when you have to realign. So with soul sync scaling, what I want you to do is I want you to tap into what feels exciting. So when you did the money syncing exercise, it's like, all right, so now I've got these different pathways and this feels exciting. Expanding your capacity is, let me start to look at how I could make a move on one of these pathways where I could focus on just a couple of key areas and expand my capacity. So I am at the point where I'll just be really honest and a bit vulnerable here. I can hold a lot more energetically. I can hold a lot more space for clients where I am experiencing a little bit of a stunting in my own growth is expansion of team and really looking at higher level team in the way that can support me. So I am fully in my genius and removing myself out of some of the business aspects that I don't need to be in anymore. Now, the truth is, I needed to be in all of these spaces in my business up until, I would say, very recently, because I wanted to make sure I was building my business in alignment with my soul, that everything was in my voice, that I was really syncing with my soul as I was scaling. And so now when I've really gotten quiet and really gone within, I can see, okay, what's my own glass ceiling that I need to break? And it's receiving support, but receiving support from the most aligned, expansive ways. And by the way, I have an incredible team. But really looking at where do I need to add and where do I need to expand team? And I've already made some of these moves, and I'm in the process of making these moves right now. So the other piece of this is, when you know where your glass ceiling is, you've got to move with it. Because if you're sitting and you're thinking about the fear of what might happen or if you're stuck in the logical mind, or if it's the ego of how is this going to look, what's going to happen is, instead of moving forward in momentum, you're going to hold yourself back, and you're going to be really, really contracted in that bottom A. If you think about the Adam's actualization activation, it's like, you want to expand, you want to hold more clients, you want more opportunities. What do you need? Do you need a different plan? Do you need different support? Do you need different level of mentorship? Do you need an aligned strategy where you're moving? And by the way, when you're syncing with your soul, there's strategy, but the strategy is always like, okay, how is this working? What tweaks do we need to make? Do we need to make any, when I say pivots, not major pivots, but we need to make any changes if we're doing a promo and it's not going as well? What other angles do we need to switch? And by the way, I have promos that it's not like everything I post, then boom, there's like bajillion people in it. It doesn't matter what you're doing. There's always different angles. Some things I put out and they fill up very quickly, and some things it takes a little bit longer. But the difference is I'm not going to say, oops, no one, not the amount of people signed up that I wanted to, and so I'm out. What I'm saying is my alignment arrows are up. I know that this is for me because I wouldn't have created it if it wasn't. And I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do as long as up until the very finish line and beyond. Because I think in entrepreneurship, people give up too quickly. So when it comes to expanding your capacity, I want you to look straight away at what am I holding now? And is there a mindset block telling me that it's going to be more work, it's going to take more energy, it's going to take more time, it's going to take me doing more things to hold more? Okay. Secondly, really looking at what do I need to do to expand energetically? Okay, so this is exactly the type of energetic expansion you can expect at Quantum Success Live. This happening in Laguna Beach, September 12th, and then there's a VIP day after on the 13th. So if you can do both of those things will create a massive level of energetic expansion plus the grounded strategy. There could be other things. What else could you do that could really expand you energetically? And what you're going to find is that when you really have your arrows up alignment and you understand that it's not going to take more energy of you, it's going to take a different version of you. Okay, I'm going to say that again. It doesn't have to take more energy of you. It takes a different version of you, somebody that can naturally hold more. And how do you do that? Just the same as you would prep for the marathon. You're playing at your edges. You're stretching your own capacity of the way that you're moving. And by the way, unique soul blueprint. This is going to look different for everybody at every next level. And so it's really important that you say that this is where you don't think, you sink. Don't think, sink. It's like you're sinking with your soul. What is my next move? If you can feel it and you're clear, boom. If you're like, okay, I'm not sure, no problem. What feels like the next move? Do you have any idea? If you don't, you open up and you pray and you start journaling and you get really clear. And when you're really moving in intention with your soul, you're going to get ideas, you're going to get hits, you're going to get inspirations, and things are going to come up very, very quickly. So I hope that this helps. And I can just tell you, in scaling any business, it is very important that you expand your capacity for what you're able to hold. And this will look different at each next level. And so the only way to do it is to play at your edges, to expand, to try things on without necessarily committing to, like, for example, you don't have to say, I'm burning this whole thing down, I'm starting over here. It's more like, okay, let me just play with expanding one next element. Let me look at the pathways that I created in syncing with my money. Is there something that I could have some FUN with? How can I have some more fun? How can I get in the energy of play? How can I create that frequency inside of what I'm doing? Because when you create the frequency of FUN and when you create that frequency of magnetic expansion, you're naturally going to have more capacity. Now, when it comes to live events, because I want to answer that part of the question, here's the thing. Live events are a ton of work. Honestly, the marketing alone is a lot. And so what I've come to terms with is I'm going to put out an event when it feels in alignment. And by the way, I don't really do anything too far in advance. I've got my Sedona Vortex Immersion. That's once a year. Right now it's happening in February every year, and that seems to really be working well. Do I have the liberty to change those dates? Yes, of course. But that feels really, really good. That's the one in-person, 4-day immersion that's mostly personal development. But as we all know, personal development absolutely translates to business expansion. Those 4 days are some of the most magical, expansive, I literally get the biggest breakthroughs for myself and my clients in those 4 days. So that is life-giving to me. I've created an experience that's not only life-giving to my clients, but it's life-giving to me. Okay, so I do that with all of my in-person events. I can tell you that whether there's 15 people in the room or 100 people in the room, when I'm on the stage, frequencies shift, things happen. And so what I've decided to do is to promote what's in alignment and to do just one thing at a time other than Sedona. And then actually the other in-person event that I have once a year is the VIP Speak Your Soul Retreat. And I've done that one for 5 years. I've seen how when somebody is really able to come and be in my home and the energy with me and really expand and really get dialed in on their signature talk, and I'm able to channel for them and teach them how to channel their power even more, like that's life-giving for me. And I've done it so many times, so it's turnkey. Again, it goes back to what's the biggest piece that takes the most energy of that particular experience is honestly marketing. And so again, I've marketed it many times. When you can market something once, it gets easier the next time, and you put different angles on it, you infuse different energy into it. And so I don't recommend that everybody go out and do as many live events as I do. For me, for my unique soul blueprint, this is just part of what I'm supposed to do. The breakthroughs that I create. Yes, I can create incredible breakthroughs virtually. I've been doing it for, 10 plus years, and the in-person experience, it takes it all to the next level. There's something that like words can't explain when you're in front of somebody, when you get out of your environment, when you get on a plane, you don't have everyone kind of tugging at you saying like, help me. You don't have children there kind of, wanting your attention. Your partner's not wanting your attention. You really are able to give your undivided attention, and you're able to build connections and networks and expand your network in that way. And so I have a lot of clients who have met business partners, who have met clients, who have met mentors, who have really just had soul shifts when they've come into one of my in-person events. And honestly, I have an expansion every single time. Like that expands my capacity at every single time I hold a microphone, every single time I'm on a stage, every single time I hold a container. Now, that doesn't mean it's not a lot of work. It is. So I choose each step of the way when I'm going to have an event, what feels in alignment, when I want to do it. So for example, this quantum success event that wasn't on the table until literally like, I don't know when it was, a month or so ago, I just got the hit and I couldn't stop. And I'm like, okay, this is happening. I've never done quantum success in this way where I've had one full day that's an immersion. I've never given a networking opportunity on the first day. And I've never done a VIP day on the back end of quantum success in this style where my mastermind clients will be there, where it's an opportunity for people to really get in-person personalized coaching. And the idea for this is like, okay, so we're going to be just walking into Q4. Actually, October, November, we won't even be in Q4. We'll just be finishing Q3. And it's like, I want to really help set up these clients for in my own mastermind, but also the clients that are stepping in for this VIP day to finish the year strong, but to do it soul synced, like in ease, where it feels light, where it feels expansive, where it feels exhilarating, where it feels FUN. And that's the whole vibe of that. And so my soul showed me that. That's part of soul sync scaling. It's like your soul is going to show you things and you move. So I could have thought about that forever, but I was like, nope, let's do it. And I'll tell you what, literally it was like venue booked, event planner booked, videographer, photographer booked within like 3 hours. I was like, okay, that was aligned. Boom, 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 boom. And so, now the next step is the marketing piece of it, trusting that even though I'm not doing it as in advance as I normally would, that the right people are going to walk in, having fun talking about it, having fun sharing about it. I think that's really an important piece with any offers, but especially live events, is activating that FUN around whatever it is that you're doing. So I hope that this inspires you. I hope that this elevates you. I hope that you're already thinking, how can I expand my capacity? What can I step into? And for any of you, if you want to come to any of my in-person events, you can comment here with any questions. You can DM me on Instagram, on Facebook. You can email the team, hello@SuzanneAdamsInc.com. And quantum success right now, if you want to buy a ticket, the day one, the immersion is $333. That's early pre-sale pricing. And then day two right now is $997. And that's for the entire VIP day. I have not offered a VIP day like this at that low of a price point ever. So this is a great opportunity to jump in. If you want the details, you can let me know. And then also for the VIP in Soul Sync scaling, you get a ticket to day one, plus the 2 Zooms, plus the Adams Actualization Activation Workshop that's coming up at July 26th. So if you have any questions about any of these things, let me know. And I'm so excited for those of you that can join me live inside of the Zoom tomorrow. I'm so excited for those of you that are having real-time breakthroughs inside of this container. Literally, when you sync with your soul in this way, expand your capacity, plug into possibilities, open up the neural pathways, rewire and reprogram your mind for that frequency of limitlessness, you will experience it. And when you're in my world, you're going to experience it faster than you think. So here we go.